Hello, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Started a few minutes later than normal, and that was all my fault. I take full responsibility. I just was off a little bit, just needed a few extra minutes, and that's all right. Sometimes we ain't always on time, but I'm right on time. How about that? Anyway, I hope everyone had a great day, and I'll actually have to wait till a couple of people join us. Thanks, DeAndre, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see here. What am I missing? I'm trying to get the banner. That's what I'm trying to do. To stop the ticker. Stop the ticker. Stop the ticker. Stop the ticker. Okay. Uh oh, there it is. It was hiding. Okay. All right, we got it. It's all good. Good in the hood. All right. Good deal. All right. So I am like I said, I started a little bit late. Apologize for that. Take full responsibility. No harm, no foul. Um, it wasn't like I had a big crowd waiting. You wanted me to sing and dance and perform. This is about conversation, which is kind of like what we were talking about yesterday conversation. If you don't use it, then how are you able to understand what's happening? Now, the title we have for today, I had a couple of topics. My articles are in the description here, which is YouTubers and criminals faking death. Yeah, that's how far it's gone now. Just for some views, some attention, some likes, shares, maybe even that plaque. I don't know how far it went. But as far as with me, I don't always go in depth with a story. But there are some stories I'll just say, hey, look at this. What's going on here? So that's sometimes what I'll bring up. So I have two, as I mentioned, and that's it. I do have a judge and jury today, which is will be more like a rant. Um, yeah, so I'll have that going on. Let's see what else I have, and those are really the main couple of things I have. Yeah, that's it. And we have the lovely, classy, classic Ruby. Everyone, applause.
Hello, hello, hello. Please, please, everyone, sit down, sit down. Really, you're embarrassing me. No, I'm kidding. Um, and
Greetings,
I would like
greetings.
to say, for the record, I would totally show up to see you sing and dance. And I think a lot of people watching agree with me. So I'm just saying, if you want to start every show by, giving us a little medley with a little accompanied choreographed routine, I think we'd all be down for that. I-
Hmm.
just throwing it out there. Yeah, you know?
Okay,
Start.
well, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll consider that. Yeah, a little entertainment, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Right. You know what I mean? Nothing too extraordinary. Just a little, two step, get the everybody in and settled and excited for the day. That's all I'm saying. Get everyone ready for their Saturday night.
Yeah, I like that. Now I'm gonna tell you, the day started off for me. Um, it was I had about maybe 15 minutes of um awesomeness. And what I mean
Oh,
by awesomeness is I was actually smiling. I was so happy because the
ooh,
sun came out for 15 minutes today.
ooh, oh, girl, you got to see sun in January. Okay then.
I was so happy because it has been cloudy.
Mm,
Well, now it's a week because I know it was
mhm,
Monday. I think the last time we saw something that looked orange,
mhm, mhm.
but it has been just cloudy and it's been awful. It really been awful.
Mm,
And I really, it has actually done something to my mood. Um,
yes.
I've been trying not to beat myself up about it because I have goals. I always have like a set of goals every day.
Mhm.
And there's small things like, okay, clean this out,
Right.
rearrange that,
Mhm. Mhm.
something. And I always do that because it keeps you going. It gives you something to look forward to, you know?
Right. Yep.
And I that list, I have like three things on it and I only accomplished one. And I really felt some kind of way about that. I really did. And
Mm.
I mean, when I got up this morning, I didn't want to get up. I was still sleepy because I stayed up late. It was 8:30, I think. I might have woke up maybe about 8:15, but I'm like, okay. After 15 minutes, I'm like, come on, get up. So I went on and got up, got ready. I headed to the store, and but while I was getting ready, whatever, all of a sudden it started getting orange in the room. I'm like, is that? And I looked toward the window, sun. And it lasted 15 minutes. I was smiling. I was putting on my shoes. I was smiling, checking my coupons and everything. And And next thing I know, it was cloudy again. And I end up not even leaving the house until like about an hour after that. I don't know what
Mm.
happened. I just started dragging. And when I went outside, I said, that's what it is. I'm like, it's no joke. And I don't see how people can really function um, without that sunshine. It really makes a difference.
Hmm. You know, and I think most people kind of feel that way, and that's why you get like you even have a seasonal affective disorder, which is it's kind of like depression, uh, but kind of like a more we'll say subdued version of it. And I think that a lot of people, I think that it has a lot to do with the sun and the fact that these are the shortest days of the year. A lot of people are getting up and traveling to work while it's still dark, and by the time they get off work, it's dark, so they never get any sun exposure. And the reason why they're pretty sure that this is starting to be connected to the sun is because one treatment for it that works very well is UV exposure. Like you can go and kind of get UV treatments where they kind of give you
Yeah,
blasts of artificial sunlight. So yeah, I think that the world kind of would agree with you that it's like without that sun exposure every day, uh, it's just you just feel a little bit more dreary. I think a little less excited about life, and kind of want to hibernate away and just don't really feel like getting dressed up to go anywhere. Don't really feel like doing anything. And then the sun comes out in the spring, and then all of a sudden you feel like revitalized, right? And you think it's because of the warmth, and I think it's honestly no, I think it's because of the sun. Hmm.
I think so too. Um, but I'm also looking like, okay, spring is coming, and I got my little list of things to do, and if I'm not accomplishing, I can't even get the word out. If I don't accomplish them,
Hmm.
then I'm really gonna be a little sad about it. But it's one day at a time. That's all you can do. No sense beating
Hmm.
yourself up about it. It's just, because it's on my mind, that's what I'm just trying to shake. I'm just trying to really shake it. It's just been a kind of like a tough week, but um, I'm going to write my list out for next week and just get
Right.
ready and just start all over. The weekend is here. Can't do anything about it. And that's that. Ta-da.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's funny though, and I gotta say that for me, this has been a very productive week, despite still having those nagging remnants of the flu. Because I am the opposite, and the sun like leeches my energy, and I know that that sounds weird because I
Mhm.
feel like there is a good impact to the sun. Like if I get my 15 minutes of exposure somehow, it is making a positive impact on me. But if I get too much sunlight, like when it's really bright,
Uh-huh.
it makes me exhausted. Like really,
Mm.
really tired. I get headaches and everything. Like I am like we make jokes about me being a vampire because of, my nighttime routine and me. But it's more than that. Like really the sun actually bothers me. Light bothers me. And I kind of
Oh,
hide away
okay.
in the dark, and I've always been a night person, but I've never been like this bothered by sunlight. So I don't know what it is that I'm like the sun's leaching my energy. But I think the sun gives us so many different kinds of vitamins and stuff like that. Sure, we know about vitamin D, but I do think
Hmm.
it does more than that we're not aware of. And I think maybe like I already have, I don't know, like let's say I have enough vitamin D and then I get sun. So it's like almost like I'm getting an overdose of vitamin D or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I'm like, this week I wake up, nothing's brilliantly shining in my face. It kind of always feels like it's like dusk or that time right
Hmm.
before it falls to even. I love that. I think it's great. I love when it's gray outside. I love when it's raining. I'm like, oh yeah, I built shelves this week, and I'm refinishing the bathroom cabinet. I'm like, I don't know. This
Oh,
was an okay
okay.
week for me. I know, right? So it's like, but see, I have to be contrary. I don't even do it on purpose. Apparently, I was just naturally made to be contrary to everyone else in life. Like what makes everyone else smile makes me sad. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't try to do it. I was born difficult. That's what
Oh,
it is. Yeah.
okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, it's really not my mood, even though it's, a little sad, but unfortunately, everything I'm about to talk about is kind of like a damper. So I'm
Mm,
gonna try to get through it. I'm gonna flash it on the screen. I'm not even gonna leave it up here. I'm gonna flash it up here just to
mm-hmm.
let you know what I'm talking about because it's all dark. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. It's all dark today.
Right.
First thing I'll
Mm.
start off with is this most wanted fugitive who faked his death to avoid charge. Can't even get it out. Child sex charges arrested in Oklahoma. So they do have them. So that's a good thing. And this dude was molesting his stepdaughter and
Oh
got her
no.
pregnant.
Oh no. How old was his stepdaughter?
It did not say. Let me get this off the screen. I haven't seen enough of that. It's time to just scroll on into the story. Um, it did not say, and I think it's to, at least for this story that I have, it doesn't say.
Mm,
And maybe that was just to try to hide her identity because she's pregnant.
right. Oh gosh. Like
Yeah,
mm,
and
that is
it
disgraceful.
it is, and he knows he's wrong. That's why he faked his own death to get away. Um, he withdrawn $45,000 from a bank account. Have no idea what bank account that was. Was it, a joint, his, whatever? I don't know. And he ran. And the thing is, he was guilty,
Mm,
and he did that. He married this woman and did this to his stepchild, and it's not good for any child, his biological or not. It's just that, you know, people know they do the wrong thing and they go as far as, lying, hiding, cheating, and all kind of stuff to get out of it. You did the deed, you wanted to do that, face the consequences and keep it moving. But people don't want to do that, of course. They're like, oh no, I want to either keep doing it or just don't face those consequences. And that what really makes me angry.
yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a sad thing, and I know we've been in discussions where we've talked about this before, but you got to recognize that when you are a single parent, you are a target for this kind of man, the kind of man who is looking for easy access to a child. Especially if you're a woman, you were abandoned early, you're needy, you're insecure, you are so blinded by the dream of finally giving your kid a family that you're not looking for signs that, yep, he's
Hmm.
affectionate and involved in the child's life, but maybe too eagerly, maybe too affectionate, maybe your kid is becoming withdrawn or something like that. And it's like, too often, I mean, we're not going to talk about the moms who become predators too. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about what I assume this woman was, which is a good woman who just, was targeted.
Hmm.
And as a result, you brought someone into your child's life who not only, I mean, I'm sure this wasn't the first time. She didn't get pregnant on the first time. It was a one-time accident. I'm sure that's not
Right.
what happened, you know um
Yeah.
and to me it comes down to, how do you miss the signs? How do you miss the signs that your happy, bubbly, outgoing kid has become withdrawn, has become angry, has become miserable, doesn't want anything to do with your significant other?
Uh-huh.
uh Maybe you're confusing that with a little bit of jealousy, like, oh, now there's someone she has to share a life with or something, or that little angst. But come on, this is crazy. You had to wait till she was pregnant, probably visibly pregnant, for you to be like, this is weird. How did my 11, fitness mom says 11-year-old, how did my 11-year-old get pregnant when she's not really even into boys like that? Like, wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah. I saw that and I just, think about a kind of accountability. That's what I really was thinking about. People do things and then they hide their hands, and it seemed like the American way. Um, and I'm really, I'm just angry about stuff like that. People do things, and it seems like the punishment is never great. That people get away with things. No punishment, that's the no punishment at all. But when I see stories like this, sometimes I always want to point that out. If you have to hide, sneak,
Mm-hmm.
more than likely, it's wrong. More than
Right.
likely. Now, we're not talking about a surprise birthday party or something like that, but most of the time, when
Mm-hmm.
you sneak and hide and all that kind of stuff, you're doing the wrong thing. Whatever those urges are, whatever, it doesn't matter. More than likely, you're doing the wrong thing. And I just really hate that and just wanted to point that out.
Right. That's so true. And sorry, I make a correction here because Fitness Mom said that no, that was a different case, the 11-year-old. So there's another recent case. This one was with an 11-year-old. But the case that you're talking about, the girl was 14. Uh, and the unfortunate thing is, right, because people start, the older that these children get, right, 14, 15, 16, 17, people start going, well, she was old enough and, she knew that this was wrong and whatever. But you have to remember the grooming that goes into these things. They don't go from 0 to 100.
Yeah,
It's slow, and a lot of times they figure out what your weakness or your pressure point is, and then they put pressure on it. So for example, maybe this 14-year-old or the 11-year-old or any of them, they want a father. They want a father figure. They want someone who cares about them and spends time with them and listens to them and laughs with them, and the
right.
dream come true. And this guy's gonna be your dream come true. It's just at the end of the day, you got a payment you got to make. And
Yeah.
they are
Oh
so
boy.
scared of losing the rest of it that, they'll do this thing. Um, or, it will be like, I'll tell your mom that you came on to me or you made me feel this way. And so they'll start blaming the victim. Um, and so, you have to recognize that when you see these situations happen, there's a lot of, time. And this is where, again, where I say, like, guys, if you're a single parent, your boyfriend, the guy you're dating, should not have
Hmm.
casual, easy access to your children. They should not have
Right.
all this alone time with your children to be slowly grooming them. And you can't get lost in a fantasy, because that's really what I think happens with a lot of these moms is they're so lost in this fantasy and this dream come true and yay, I finally found my Prince Charming kind of stuff, that they ignore what's directly in front of their face. Because if it wasn't for that, they'd be able to see clearly, like, this grown man is a little too interested in my young child.
Hmm.
This grown man is a little too interested in spending time with a child that's not his. Like, without me. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that. He's too quick to volunteer to babysit for me, you know?
And there's a show I love. It's terrible. It's a three movie box set. And it's terrible, but I still enjoy it. And it's called Stepfather.
Mm,
And his stick is all he wants is a family. He meets the family, finds the damsel in distress, and he gets to know, and then he's a fix-it man and all of that. It's normally it's two children. One just don't like him off the rip. The other one likes him, and then they find out that this man is crazy as heck. And then, of course, now he got to try to kill him. And he starts all over. After that happens, he goes to the next family. And yes, that sounds terrible, but the humor in it, I'm sorry, is some humor in there, and I'm tickled. I'm
mm-hmm.
just so tickled because his stick, that's what it is. It's like all I want is a family. But dude, all this. But you get a chance, check it out online. It's If you like the little dark humor, hey, you like it. If you don't, that's fine too. But I just wanted to mention that, and I'll go ahead on to the next thing, which is again dark. Um, I'm not really one for the YouTube names and all that. I don't really like doing all of that. So I'm just going to talk around this particular guy, and anybody can Google it and find out who it is. But there's a guy, he's Canadian, he's 29 years old, had a popular YouTube channel, and he faked his girlfriend's death just for subscribers.
Mm.
He was close to 1 million, I think it was. In fact, let me scroll through the article. I don't have to even guess, just look through it. I was trying to remember by memory. Um, I think only because that's another thing. Some things are just not that important to me. Okay, this is kind of long. I can't find it, but anyway, whatever it is, he wanted more subscribers, and that was the whole point of it. And the nut actually would go to the grave site and say his final goodbyes. It's just a bunch of mess. But
Wow.
he got his 5.44 million subscribers, all from lying and playing on the sympathy of people. So there was some money involved. I'm sure there was a lot of donations and all of that, but his whole purpose was just for the subscribers. That's what he wanted.
Wow.
And I just think it's really sick. People just always faking something to get something or to get out of something in this case. Well, like the other guy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That is something. It's happened before, and I remember the case where people were so desperate to be on this train of I'm doing crazy stuff for subscribers and views and likes that there was that thing where a guy got his girlfriend to shoot him, basically, but like it was like I think it was like a telephone book or something was supposed to stop the bullets, something like that.
Uh huh.
Um, if someone remembers, y'all can let us know. But obviously, it didn't work, and he died. And I
Oh,
mean, yeah, and boy, did that ever go viral. And it was this whole entire thing where it was like, did she do it intentionally and do that for a few, like, and from what I remember, she was actually really traumatized and kind of left the whole YouTube thing. And so I guess, and accidental deaths and really bad injuries have occurred. And of course, yeah, people went viral and got millions of views and viewers and subscribers. So, I guess now the thing is, hey, I'm not going to actually do anything that's really risky. I'm not going to do anything that's really going to hurt me. I'm just going to pretend because I know it brings in that viralness. I know it brings in the subscribers because look, real people have really suffered, but look how many subscribers they got.
that's
Like,
something.
right? Like, wow. Wow. And I don't know if you remember this show. This was early in YouTube days, but there was this one blonde teenage girl. I can't remember what was her name. I think it was like Lonely Girl or something, and she was so popular. She was just a teen girl telling you her stories about life and her insecurities and blah blah blah. And it was this big thing when it came out that she was actually like a 20-year-old actress hired to play this part, basically. So
Wow.
yeah, the whole thing was fake. And I think, yeah, it was Lonely Girl 15, if I remember correctly. Lonely Girl 15. And I remember it was this whole thing. And back then it was like, oh my God, what a piece of trash for lying and telling these stories like they're happening to you today. Right. And
Wow.
like, yeah. And I remember that it was like she was really demonized. But in this day and age, seems like it's almost okay to chase that kind. You know what I mean? Who cares? Whatever you need to do for attention, whatever you need to do for likes and clicks and views and subs, whatever you need to do for validation. It seems like, yeah, people might be like, "Oh my god, that's so bad," but I'm still going to stay subscribed. You know what I mean? Because I want to see what wacky thing he's going to do next. Whereas in before, it's like, nah, we're going to drop off in droves because you're a fake liar and I want no part of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
culture
people
has
like that.
changed. Right.
Yeah, that's it. The culture has changed. It's like, what's next? Oh, wow. And, this reality, which is no reality, TV, it's gotten out of hand. People do anything, everything, and they just love it. Just love it.
Right? It's just ugh. It's so disgusting to me. Um, because for me, I can't stand that. When I
Hmm.
hear a little bit, and I catch a little bit of, I guess, disingenuousness inside of someone's stories, inside of someone telling you about their life or what they do or what they think or what they feel, I don't want to watch that. Like I don't have time to listen to you lie about your life or to lie about your thoughts. Uh, that's
Yeah.
me. So I don't relate to this new thing where like, oh well, it's okay. Oh my god, I can't believe he pulled that. Let's subscribe. Like I don't get that. Like no, I want no part of subscribing. I don't want to support that. I don't want to let people know that it's okay for you to sit there and lie about everything. As long as you were only doing it to chase attention and validation and subscribers, then it's okay. Like, when did that become okay? It's crazy.
Right. But, that's the culture that we're in. Let's see how far we can go. And they do have shows out there that that have torture. Let's see. Think about those shows where they have it where you got to eat all this type of stuff and you got to be in the wilderness and you can't have this. People do all kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
and they get the views, so they gain some money, some popularity, so they keep doing it and just keep pushing the envelope until they can't push it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's so true. And the thing is, you could say, well, what if they go too far? People go too far all the time. They go too far all the time. No one cares. No one cares
Yeah.
anymore. Like, we don't care what lines people are crossing. There, nothing is sacred. Like, you think about that, how disgusting. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine sitting there and lying about a death in the family or something like that to get out of, I don't know, to get out of trouble at work or something for missing a few days, or you know what I mean? I was always that person who was like, but if I say it, it's like wishing that it'll come true. Or, it's like, almost like there's not enough
Hmm.
wood for you to knock on at that point. So I can't imagine going through this kind of masquerade because I would feel like I'm bringing that karma onto myself and onto my life and onto the life of my loved ones.
Okay.
you know like I would feel like, sure, I got away with it, got all these subscribers and whatever, but in a year or two it's going to happen for real to me, and now no one's going to care because I already did it as a publicity stunt. And I'm going to be suffering really badly and still no one's going to care. First they're not going to believe me, and then when they do they're going to say, well, kind of brought it on yourself though. You already got all the sympathy we have. We poured out all the sympathy we had for you for a lifetime. So, oh well, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Well,
about where. Oh well.
that's what people, it's the new um internet church, we're pulling on your sympathy, we're pulling on your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And people they buy it and
Yes.
buy it as well. When I mean buy it, I mean they pay for it because either they like it, they really don't know it's not true and they believe it, but it's profitable to the person, people, organization, club, whatever that's doing it. And so it's not stopping anytime soon. That you can believe is not stopping anytime soon.
It's really not going to. You're right. And the unfortunate thing, I mean, people are lighting themselves on fire. I mean, okay. And in all fairness, I can see my idiot friends. We totally would have done stuff like this in high school because we would have heard, hey, you can light yourself on fire without burning yourself. Cool, let's try it, right? Especially, and I'm being real here, but especially when you smoke
Hmm.
some weed, everything sounds like
Hmm.
a good plan and you think you're geniuses. So, if, right? Like, that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I can see under those circumstances, me and my idiot friends. Now, I wouldn't have been the one to light me on fire because I'm not stupid, but I totally would
Uh-huh.
have let someone else do it so I could see it, right?
What the world?
Yeah, no, I totally would have been down for that because the thing is they're supposed to be able to light themselves on fire without getting burned. Now I would let you do it to see if it works, and if it absolutely worked, a few more people do it. By the fifth person or so, I would be willing to try it. But I would have to be positive that I won't get burned first, right? But just because I have enough intelligence to not allow myself to get burned first doesn't mean does not mean that I'm not willing to let you do it, right? Um, Now, as an adult, I would clamp down on my curiosity and be like, that's probably not a good plan. But to be honest with you, I'm not the one where if you're gonna do this stupid thing, I'm gonna be like, oh, I want no part of this and walk away. I'm not. I'm being real. I will stand there and watch you do it. If you're determined on doing it, you might as well have an audience, right? Like someone's got to put you out. So I think that's the thing, right? Like even people who look at stuff like this and go, this is pathetic and ridiculous. I think that we all have a little bit of that in us, right? We've all got our little guilty pleasures of whatever foolishness we're watching on TV. We know we shouldn't support
Mhm.
whatever drama on YouTube we know we shouldn't support, but we click like and laugh hard. It's kind of like where we are as a society and as a culture. And when we value death so little, that we're willing to basically make a mockery of it. I mean, it
Yeah.
tells you we're basically like a soulless society these days. We really are,
Yeah. Value. What's that? I don't know what that is.
right?
You know, that's what it looks like.
Value, right?
Value. What? Oh.
It's making up words now. Come on,
What's that?
right?
But I got a sound effect to that lighting on fire. Let me bring that
Ooh,
up.
ooh, okay, okay.
I think I played it yesterday. How I think about that.
Ooh,
Yeah, I pass on that one.
love
I
it.
pass on that one.
Right? No, no, thank you.
I'll try something else, but I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
Mm-hmm. Girl, I do not blame you. All I can say is, like I said, I accept my limitations as a human. I'm not always good, and this is one of those ways that I know I'm a bad person because I will support this foolishness. I will. Yep.
Greetings, fitness mom. How are you?
Ooh.
Happy February to you.
Good yourself. Happy February to you as well.
Hey,
Thank you,
fitness
thank you.
mom. Glad to
Nice.
see ya.
Yeah, I know you've been partying and stuff. What's going on with you?
Oh Lordy! As soon as I get on the air, all of a sudden my nose start acting up.
Uh
Oh
oh.
no. Oh no.
I'm like, oh no, am I getting sick?
Uh oh.
Girl, I hope not.
Yeah.
So earlier tonight,
Uh huh.
I've been on a diet. So I have what I've been doing is for the past week I've been eating one meal a day, and
Okay.
one meal that has been below 500 calories. So I've
Oh.
been taking in less than 500 calories a day, which
Mhm.
isn't
Mm,
healthy. That is not healthy. So
no.
Uh huh. All right. Mhm.
tonight, I went to a seafood place that had a mukbang.
Oh.
I ate
Oh.
about 3 or 4 pounds of crab meat.
Damn. 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And on top of that, I was allergic to it. I was allergic
Oh my
Oh
to it,
goodness.
right? So I'm
no.
chewing, scarfing down all these crab legs, right? And my lips
Mm.
start to swell up.
Oh boy.
And
Oh
I'm like,
no.
oh man, I'm having an allergic reaction, but I kept eating. It
Oh
Oh
no. Of
no.
course, girl.
was
Mm,
good.
Where's where's
mm,
that Benadryl when you need it?
right?
I know, right? Should have been there. So I finished and everything, and I said to the waitress, she said, "Oh my god!" I was like, don't worry, it's not life threatening," because my lips were really swollen by that time.
Oh no. Oh no. Don't worry, it's not life threatening. Oh my god. I'm
Yeah.
gonna live. That's why I kept eating. It's gonna be fine.
Wow. You make sure you carry some Benadryl, and I think I might also suggest that to restaurants. Maybe come up with a new lobby for that. That
Oh
since
no.
they have they have everything for the heart and all that. Because a lot of people are allergic to seafood. But continue with your story. I didn't want to get off. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. So I ate it. It was delicious. And the yesterday I paid to see a movie, and I fell asleep in the middle of the movie and woke up at the credits. I was like, well, fine. I just paid to see the same movie again today, and this time I watch it all the way through. I, s-
Nice.
I should have stayed with the first time when I fell asleep, because obviously that was a sign.
Oh no. Yeah, no. 2 times. You paid 2 times for a movie that you could not stay awake during.
No,
No.
the second time I actually did stay awake, and
Oh, okay.
I wish I would have fell asleep. It was
Oh
worse.
no.
And
Which movie was it?
I'm not going to tell that, because then I'll be
What?
sitting there. I will just say one thing.
Hmm.
This is not the movie that I fell asleep during, but it is a movie that I think is god awful, and it was The Turning.
Okay.
I've never even heard of that one. The
That movie
Turning.
was awful. It was horrible. It was atrocious. But anyway, so this movie I sat through and everything. And as I was leaving, one of the other people in the audience was getting up. He was like a 11-year-old, 12-year-old. He's like, that has to be so horrible. And I was like, no. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
that movie had to be so horrible. And
Oh no.
it had such potential. Just like The Turning has such potential. But
Mm.
yeah.
So what did they do wrong then? So what part of it had potential? Like what the concept of it?
Yes, the whole thing, and that's what I think is happening right now with my nose. I think it's part of that allergic reaction. So I'm just gonna pop a couple of Benadryls real quick.
Okay.
Girl, you are hilarious. But no, I gotta say though, I do the same. I used to. I don't do it anymore, but I used to once a year, because Mars bars were my favorite chocolate bar on the planet, favorite.
Hmm.
But I'm allergic to them, because I developed this egg allergy, and Mars bars have egg in it. But it's my favorite, and you can't make your own Mars bar. Okay, so once a year I would sit there and I wouldn't eat all day because I already know what's gonna happen. And then I would sit down with a few Mars bars and I would eat them, knowing that my throat's gonna start closing, everything's gonna start swelling, right? And now it's just a matter of trying to beat the clock. Like you just want to live until tomorrow, right? So you're taking your Benadryl. I actually took a tip from my sister, who's allergic to nuts, and she's airborne allergic, which means she comes into contact with the smell a lot. And one thing that kind of helps her throat feel better, and for some reason, is Pepsi. And I don't know if it's the fizz or whatever, but it makes her feel better. So I had my Pepsi ready, taking teeny tiny little sips. I had an EpiPen there just in case I fully died. Like I'm telling you, I will do it once a year, because I love Mars bars, right? Like I can't. I'm not gonna actually. It's not like a nut allergy. Well, I will literally die. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Immediately. I got time. So,
She got
it's
time,
fine.
y'all.
Yeah, I got time. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be fine. So I can't even criticize you, because I'm putting my life at risk for a chocolate bar. I can't imagine a world where they take seafood away from me. And that actually happened to my mom, who's allergic. She's allergic to shellfish and to pork. But she's the one who introduced me to both shellfish and pork. She didn't develop the allergy until she was about my age. So I'm terrified every day, right, that it's going to happen to me too.
Hmm.
Um, but I think I would do the same thing. I think I would just take the hit. It is what it is. Like, dude, you're going to take shellfish away from me? No. Shrimp? Lobster, like oh, mussels are my favorite. Oh gosh, no, 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 no. I feel you, girl. I understand. The question is, was it delicious? That's what I want to know.
Yes.
See, then it was worth it. It was worth it. I feel you. I'm good.
Mm, mm, mm.
I support that decision.
Sorry about that. I had to hunt down my Benadryl because I
No
always
problem.
have Benadryl in the house because sometimes an allergy comes popping in.
Yeah, it's good to have it around
Mm,
the house.
mm-hmm.
Oh man.
That is hilarious.
So
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, my lips are still swollen, my nose is clogged up a little bit, but that's as bad as the reaction's gonna get. So it's not really that bad.
Okay.
Mm, mm.
Wow.
There we go. Everything's fine. And just in case Fitness Mom is wrong, we all get to talk to her today. So this is good, right? You know what I mean?
Y'all might get to have to say your last goodbyes. And
Yeah, right?
actually, the stepfather, I've seen those movies, and it is funny how you was talking about that the humor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, but yeah, I seen those. I saw those movies, The Stepfather.
Yeah, I have one of them I have. Because there's three, and I know I own one. I forgot which one I own, but I did want all three. But now that you don't have to have the physical copy, I do plan to get them and download them, so I have them and watch them anytime I like and enjoy my little dark humor. Yeah,
He goes hunting for women in the supermarket. It was crazy.
it's a mess. And then his whistle. I can't get that whistle right now. Let me see. My lips are too dry. Let me drink some water and try.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear this whistle.
I said try now. I didn't say I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
You
try.
didn't see.
It's been years since I've done it.
Okay.
Nope, I ain't got it. But it was like do 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 do. That's the one.
Ah, the Camptown ladies sing this song. Doo da, doo da. That song?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But he
Okay,
was
okay.
hunting people, I think, and while he was doing it.
Look at Artie said, make room for daddy.
Wasn't this movie's called Step Brother?
Stepfather, because
Stepfather.
the
Okay.
premise is this man was hunting single mothers so that he could
Mm.
keep family. But oh, that's what I was going to talk. That something like that actually happened in real life, where this man, had killed his first wife and child, and then he went to jail. And then when he got paroled, there were people that were what's the word that were campaigning for his release, saying that
Uh-huh.
they felt that he was had become a changed man in prison. So they won and they got his early release, and he actually went and killed some more people.
Mm.
Wow.
And the reason why the stepfather made me think about it was because the whole time after while he was going to court for both cases, all he kept saying was, I just want a God fearing woman.
Uh-uh. No,
Um.
that is terrible.
That's what he just kept saying over and over again. I don't know why this world has done me like this. I just wanted a God fearing woman my whole life. I just want a God fearing woman. And this time they was like, well, you're going to jail for life with no possibility this time. So
But he
Wow.
can get one because nowadays these women will write men in prison, and hey, it's a whole
he'll
nother
have
life.
10 pounds.
I may look into that, and that'll be an interesting series. I don't mean series as in doing many of them. I think I'll just pick a story that's just the weirdest story and talk about that. But unless by demand, people like give us more, then it'll be a series. But yeah,
Right.
that's something else. You know, I have heard people that will be a fan of someone in prison, and that guy. And think about it. Even some of the people that we see in the news today, they will have a wife, and you be wondering, like, wait a minute, but you were in jail. How you, huh? And she'd be right there on his release date, right there for him. I'm like, okay. Uh, Wondering how that would go. That'll be interesting, though, to interview people that have met like that and see if they, make it past 3 years. Be interesting. But anyway, um, yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Don't know when, but I will. That's kind of strange, but I'm curious now that we're talking about that because it does exist.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does. You know, I wanted to talk about now, Shar, you brought this story to my attention.
Oh, okay.
I want to talk about the boy, the 9-year-old boy who stabbed his younger sister.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so I was hoping, actually, I think that this is how I do it. I think that I could play the video, and if I turn the sound on, if everyone is quiet, I can turn the sound on my laptop, and I could show everyone the video, and they can kind of hear people talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, so now we just have to figure out how
Do
to
it.
do that.
Do it, Ruby. Do it.
I got it. I
Do
got
it.
it. I
Do
got
it,
it.
Ruby.
Got it.
Do it.
I got it. See, music. We're making music for you.
Like how I did that remix. Instead of Roger, I said Ruby. You like that?
I did it. Right?
All right. Let's see. Add to stream. Boop.
We got it.
Got it.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn on the sound so I can play the video, and then we can hear the news report. And I guess let me know if you can't hear it, and then I'll stop. But yeah, okay. 1 second. Let me transfer over, and we're good to go. Make it big. All right. The 9-year-old Ocala boy accused of trying Can you hear it? Kill his 5-year-old sister Monday
Yes.
before a judge Tuesday morning. We are not identifying him because of his age. The judge appointed the public defender to oversee his case and told him he'll be held in secure detention. And I'm going to ask if they can get Mr. The children's mother told police she left the kids alone for only about 10 minutes to check the mail and get them some candy from a neighbor here at the Berkeley Point apartments. When she got back to the apartment and went to check on them, she says she saw her son stabbing her daughter. Police say the little girl was stabbed multiple times. In the arrest affidavit, detectives say the boy claimed he'd been thinking about killing his sister for 2 days and couldn't get the idea out of his head. He got a knife from the kitchen and told detectives that during the attack he was shouting, "Die, die," before his mother returned and grabbed the knife. Police say the 5-year-old was alert and able to communicate when she was airlifted to the hospital. As for her brother, he's set to have his next appearance in court on February 5th. Okay, so now we just figure out how to undo all the things I just did. Okay. All right. So now that's the story. I'll stop sharing. Yeah. So now that's the story. Now I want to point out a couple of things because a lot of times, hold on, oh, I forgot to turn down this part of the sound. A lot of times we talk about stories, and what we like to do is we like to talk about when our children, black children, do something terrible. What I want to do is I want to highlight a couple things that, as is usual, are different between when a black child commits a crime versus when a white child commits a crime. Now, you could see there, it was blurred out, but you could see that this was a white child. Our 9-year-olds who accidentally kill someone in the commission of, I don't know, fighting them, like the boy who was wrestling with his cousin and accidentally body slammed him. Y'all remember that? Or her, sorry. It was a similar age difference.
Uh-huh.
And I think, yeah, he was about the same age too. And they charged him with first degree murder as an adult, and his face was splashed everywhere. We knew exactly who he was. In fact,
Hmm.
when all of our under 12 children commit crimes, they splash their faces everywhere. Now, this child is 9, sure. But
Hmm.
if you read the report now, he, from a couple days before, the thought occurred to him he wanted to kill his sister. And so he planned and he waited. He had the kitchen knife ready. And when his mom went away, he and left him in charge of her. He waited till she bent over to show him something on the ground and then started stabbing her, screaming, "Die, die, die." And then the police asked, well, why'd you do it? Because he wanted to kill her. There was no
Mm.
he wasn't mad at her. Wasn't a jealous. He wanted to kill his sister. If this was a black boy, he would be charged as an adult. His face would be everywhere already. They'd be talking about all of his predatory this and that, finding pictures of him in hoodies, trying to make him look like he's got a 5 o'clock shadow on his face already at 9, right? That's what they
Hmm.
do to our children. But when this white boy who's 9 years old sits there and intentionally plots the murder of his sister and then follows through on this is literally aggravated attempted murder, and this is very much thought out and planned out. They're protecting him. He's still being charged as a child. His identity is being protected because he's just a boy, right? So I wanted, that was my thing. Like when I looked at this, I was like, okay, things are getting crazy. People don't have, problem solving skills anymore and stuff like that. But then I thought about it and I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a bigger issue here. Again, pointing out the fact that, our children are treated differently, that our children aren't looked at as children. And even when you hear a story of a young non black child who does something egregious, people are trying to find ways to excuse it right away. Well, I want a psychiatric evaluation. The lawyer didn't ask for a psychiatric evaluation. The judge did. The judge doesn't want to look at this like he's just
Oh,
a wicked, evil person. Yeah, I know the audio was a little bit quiet, so you couldn't really hear it as much, but the judge was the one asking for the evaluation.
okay. Wow.
Right. So even the judge doesn't. I don't really want to charge this boy. He's probably just sick, right? Because a young white boy. It must be a mistake. There must be something wrong with him. It's not that he's a criminal. It's just that boys will be boys or something like that. And I just wanted to highlight this story because it first of all, it made my blood run cold to think of a young child plotting a murder like that and holding on to it for days with a giant kitchen knife, and then following through. And you think about, even as adults aren't really keen to stab each other. It's a
Hmm.
very intimate, personal thing to do. And to think about all of those factors with this kid, it just made my blood run cold. But then to think that despite all of that, he's just an innocent kid. You're going to put him in with actual innocent kids who maybe just stole something. He's going to go to a juvenile detention center with a bunch of kids. Maybe they stole something. Maybe they fight a lot, right? Maybe they're in there still for possession, whatever it is. And this kid plotted a murder. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Mhm.
I have this thing with typing because if I start talking and typing, so I might as well just stop typing and just say it. What I was saying, DJ Music, is about the half trial case with Trump. That's sort of like what reminded me of what this judge is looking for something. He wants to take care of this kid. Um, I would never understand what was in this guy's little boy's mind. Um, Now I can think of a couple of things that would just make me angry or the child will be angry. Maybe he's stuck at home. His parent is making him be the head of household, and he figures, hey, I want to go outside. I'm stuck with this sibling, and I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, that's a little out there, but that is the only thing I can think of. Um, but he actually had an answer. As you're saying, the child said, "I just, I thought about this a few days ago." I'm like, "What?"
Right. Right. And you know what? I would think that, but then I look at the neighborhood. I mean, yes, they don't really mention a father in the story, so it's possible maybe a single mom working a lot. So, he's put in charge of his sister a lot. Maybe that's the case. But I mean, he said for a couple days, which that means he's not put in charge of his sister often. And obviously for not really long periods of time. Like she was just running out. She was only gone for 10 minutes.
Hmm.
So I think it's unlikely that he was put into that position. I look at the neighborhood that they're in. It seems like it's a nice, well kept kind of neighborhood. You know what I mean? A little bit above average
Hmm.
sizing of houses and stuff like that. And if he had to wait 2 days, then there's a good chance she's not saying, well, I'll be back in 6 hours or I'll be back in 3 hours or something, because he would have done it before. Or um, if she did that very regularly, maybe 2, 3 times a week, even, he would just wait until then when he knew for sure she'd die
Hmm.
because no one's coming back for hours. So he could just kill her and then go play his video games or whatever. I think this is more that, honestly, white male entitlement of he didn't want to share. She doesn't want to share resources and attention anymore. I deserve all the attention on me. She's probably the cute one. She gets better presents, or he's got to share his food, or he's got to share whatever. And he just didn't want to. Just didn't want to do it anymore. He wanted to be the sole everything.
I
That's
agree
what I
with
think it
you.
is.
I agree because I think he just wanted to kill her. Like you said,
Mhm.
he had the thought to kill her, and she was in his way and taking up too much space and mom's attention, so she had to go.
Mhm. Mhm. See,
Dang.
that's the important thing too. He said, "I wanted to kill her." Like most people who kill someone didn't want to kill that person. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was an incidental thing to "I was so angry." Or
Yeah.
he whatever, like I didn't want to kill someone but I didn't see another way or something. No, I think part of it was he wanted to kill her, like he wanted to kill the dog or the cat or whatever, neighborhood animals he's been killing. I think there's a good chance that he might even be uh a serial killer, like, you know what I mean, if
I don't think
Hmm.
there's a chance that he's not a serial killer.
exactly, yes. Thank you. But we're gonna treat this serial killer with kid gloves because he's a white boy, probably with blonde hair, and looks like the American dream. Just
Mm.
saying. Just saying.
Well, aren't most young serial killers the white boy with blonde hair that looks like the American dream?
Mm-hmm. Actually, yes. But it shows you, because you think about it, right? For us, like, we know that the white woman is the most dangerous thing to us. We hurt a white woman in any way, that's it. We're done for, right? One of our men so much as whistles as a white woman, historically,
Hmm.
we're done for. Um, so, but you think about it, is the white woman the most protected? Well, I don't know, because no one seems to care about the little girl at all. He tried to kill a 5-year-old white girl.
The white
If you
woman is the most protected when it comes to being around black people, but not when
exactly.
it comes to being around other
True.
white.
But
Yeah.
the white male clearly is the most protected because no one's even talking about the little girl. Like, you look at this news report, no one's talking about the injuries of the little girl, what she's had to go through.
Hmm.
No one's flashing her picture about how beautiful and cute she is. I didn't see anything about her. No one cared about her. If it was one of our children, dude, we would have pictures of her in the cutest little things from birth, frilly and pretty and pink and everything nice and sweet, right? Sugar and spice. We would already know, right? He'd already be convicted. He'd be done basically already. Where's that now that the offender is a
Uh-huh.
white little boy? What happened?
Yeah. Everything is different now. Uh-huh. Wow.
What I think is terrifying, and I can't tell if he is on what's it called, like if he's on bail or not. But what if he's on bail? Can you imagine what that would do? Because on one side, I guess as a mother, you wouldn't want your kid to be in jail, but on the other side, your kid tried to kill your other kid. So if that kid comes out on bail, that means you are putting your daughter at risk every single day, traumatizing your daughter every single day.
But the thing
Um,
about it is if he is a serial killer or has serial killer tendencies, it's not like this should have came out the blue. Mm.
mm,
A kid don't just wake
Hmm.
up one day and be like, he was acting so perfect all his life, but now all of a sudden he's stabbing his sister in the bedroom, yelling, "Die!"
mm,
So you gotta wonder if the mother is the type that will actually keep him in check, or like some
mm-hmm.
people are like, what? He does that to the neighborhood animals, but it's just a phase he'll grow
Oh,
out of type person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
dang. That's messed
He's
up.
just curious. He's just curious, right?
I
And
had one woman on my timeline. Now I'm not gonna name names, but
mm-hmm.
because I have a lot of certain people on my timeline, and she
Uh-huh.
showed a video of her son skinning the snake alive, and she's like, just like his uncle.
Oh, okay.
What?
Oh, okay.
Skinning the snake alive. And she was like, just like his uncle.
No,
Oh,
no.
oh,
That's
okay.
so unnecessary. Like,
Um, all right.
right.
Just like Dunkel. All right.
Right. Like you think about that one, right? Like for you to
Mhm.
take the hide or skin off of something
Alive, yeah.
while it's alive, it's not like the skin will grow back so you don't want to kill it. Like no. Like this animal is now going to die. It's going to die. The fact that you're refusing to kill
Hmm.
it first means you want to torture it. You want to
Yeah,
feel like you are hurting another animal, another living being. You want to see it struggle and be in that kind of pain and feel that kind of power. That's what it seems like to me,
yeah.
which is not normal. These are not normal things. No one should be proud of this at all. Like that's terrifying. Skinning a snake. Oh my god.
I hid the video and I unfollowed her with her
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't gonna be catchy. Her or her brother. But yeah, that's something there.
Oh yeah. And actually, the funny thing is what I've actually heard a lot is that whole excuse of when kids want to do these things, cut open animals, play with dead animals, stuff like that. Oh, he's just curious about the insides. He's probably going to be a doctor. Um
Uh, no.
yeah. No. No, it's true. No. This is like serial killer training 101. It's something that almost every serial killer has done. They killed
Hmm.
animals, played with dead animals, wanted to do things like torture animals. If anyone has seen, what's the show called? Mindhunter. It's something
Mm,
that very early on, in their profiling, they noticed this, and they went and they spoke to a school of kids, right? And they said like if they had to be really careful with their wording, back then, because back then people weren't immune to like violence like they are now.
right.
But talking about how they hurt animals, you can't say hurt. Okay, be mean to. And it's like, well, some little boys are mean. They like to mess around and torture, like, like psychologically torture animals, little sisters, stuff like that. But there is a difference. You can tell a difference between a kid messing around with a dog and a kid who's throwing giant rocks at the dog to hear it squeal and see it cower in a corner, for example. And then neighborhood cats start disappearing, and then your dog runs away. These are not normal things to happen around your child. They're just not. And ugh, God, that's so scary to me. The skinning the snake thing. I'm still getting the heebie-jeebies from it. I'm so glad you unfollowed her because you do not want to go to like a get together she throws. That kid might be there.
or the uncle.
Or the uncle. That's true. The uncle's bigger and stronger. Oh my. That is terrifying.
They post frequent hunting trips and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, just like their uncle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they love making movies about stuff like that too. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but there's actually a lot of movies about them, people who like to hunt for animals, and then saying, "Hey, I know we'll scoop some homeless people, some forgotten people, and release them into the woods and then hunt them." That concept is in seriously like a lot of movies, to the point where I don't think they're just making it up or copying the previous movie. I think that this is something that they are seeing in real life, or they're hearing about in real life, or something like that. I do think it's something that happens, and people who
Uh-huh.
go missing, we never hear from them again. I do think that people do this. They snatch you up, put you in a trunk, drive you to somewhere where they're going hunting, and release you into the wild. And then it's like a, hey, well, if you can get away, then we'll let you live. Like, how are they getting away? There's four of you with guns and one of them running around with nothing. Um, but I think they like that. I think they like the chase. I think they love being predators.
Yeah. You're onto something.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of missing people, I believe you,
Right?
because of
Terrifying.
that.
Terrifying.
Wow.
And that's, I wish there's something like, on one side, it's not going to be a good thing if we put chips in people, right? Because I feel like that's like the coming of the Antichrist, because it's in like every coming of the Antichrist movie, where
Hmm.
everyone's chipped like you chip your dog. But with that being said, if everyone was chipped, right? And you have your obvious chip in your arm, but then you have another one somewhere where people cannot easily get it out. I don't
Uh-huh.
know, like put it, like seriously, like, yo, put mine in my lungs or some shit. Um, then what happens is we can find these missing people. Like, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so people wouldn't be able to be kidnapped and snatched quite so easily. There's to me, there is some merit in chipping your kids, as weird as that sounds. Because if someone were to try to take them and they didn't go to school like they're supposed to, and you just check in at 10 to make sure they're at school or whatever time they're supposed to start, and they're not there, you just go travel to wherever their chip is and you make sure they're okay. Sure, they might be skipping with friends and trying to be little douchebags, but they also could be, being groomed by someone. They could be being snatched by someone. And this would allow you to know where they are. And I don't know. I think it's totally messed up that I think that way. I do, but I think that it's, the whole millennial thing. Like, we can do this. We can always know where we are, GPS, blah blah blah. There's trackers on everything, and it just seems like the next logical step. But like, what do y'all think? Do you guys think that that is like totally messed up? We should not be chipping humans.
Uh, mm. It's kind of hard to say. I think that's going. It's not necessary for a lot of things, but I'm sure if I think long enough, it'll be necessary for some things. As you're saying, for the young children. Okay, I get that. But what children? Um, all children, all states, cities, countries. How much does this cost? Who's going to run the tracker? Um, is there a registry for this tracking for all cities, or you know, how would that go? That's a lot to think about, especially the cost part of it.
Hmm.
Would that be a good thing to do for that? Um, I don't know. I can find other ways of spending money, but I don't. Right now, it just doesn't come off just immediately like ding, 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 ding. Oh yeah, let's do that. So that's something I would think about and hear some more about.
Hey guys, now you know about the dark side of YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like
Heard about it.
the dark side of YouTube is what happens that people refer to when you start stumble from one video to another, and you end up in a section of YouTube where all the really crazy freaky crap happens.
Okay.
Well, I was sitting here in the chat, right, listening to, well, reading the messages, and then a video caught my attention.
Uh-huh.
I clicked on it, and then another video caught my attention, so I clicked on that video, and then another video, and I found myself wandering down this video rabbit hole while you was talking, and I
Okay.
watching a video, on a YouTube channel with a man talking about things with a blow up doll with him.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was like, what? And apparently, he makes videos with his blow up doll, sitting there talking like it's a real person.
Okay. So do they have a tracker too? I don't know.
I have no idea. I was like, this is crazy. As for the tracker, I'm like, my kid would never have a tracker in them because I believe that would be the mark of the beast.
Mm,
I mean, I was raised in a religious cult. So if you're trying to put anything in or on my body, the first thing I'm thinking out every time is mark of the beast. Mark of the beast. It's mark of the beast. And I'm running from it.
okay. All right. Well, you're gonna have to market that thing, but that is interesting, and I do see where you're coming from. It's just I have so many questions behind that as far as costs, who, what state, who's gonna run it, country, and all of that. Um,
Yeah. And I mean, okay. And see, that's the thing. My one thing is now, and I totally understand you, fitness mom, because just in and of itself, having been raised in a religious cult, like, yeah, no, I 100% for sure would agree with you. Like, yeah, no, hell no. And I get that. I think for me, the thing would be this, that first of all, there's things that you can get. So you can get a chip, like right now, basically, and attach it to your kid, not in your kid, but in your kid's backpack or something like that. And then there are already apps that you can download.
Mhm.
Um, and you pay like a monthly fee or whatever, right? Because they want to make their money. They developed it, that will track your kids. You can already, as it is, do find your friends type apps and stuff through Facebook and Instagram that will track your phone wherever you are. And then you can find your friends. And not only will it give you a GPS coordinate, it'll tell you where they are. They're at, Planet Fitness or wherever.
Mhm.
So we've kind of already to an extent gone there. And like I said, we already have chips that you can put outside of dogs, inside of dogs, and other animals. So that way, if they do get lost or whatever, you can go find them. So, we've kind of already gone there. And I mean, it's not, I'll say, super cheap to chip dogs currently, but it's no longer the luxury only the super elite can afford it anymore either. So
Mhm.
it's kind of in that in betweeny stage. Now, as far as being able to, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can about pick up something that has some type of GPS-ness to it for pretty cheap these days. I'm thinking if we worked on it, for real worked on it, you could probably get something in the market that you're probably paying, let's say, because it would have to be medical grade. You would want it to be encased in something medical grade, like a silicone or something that obviously will not degrade over time and won't make you sick over time if it does degrade and whatever. It wouldn't be quite as easy as TV shows try to make it, like, oh, just take this metal thing, put it in, and you'll be fine. Like, no, like, there would have to be a little bit more to it than that. So I'm thinking you'd probably currently be looking at a couple grand. So that would be definitely cost prohibitive for people who, can't do it. But the thing is that the more people pick something up, the more you can mass produce it, the cheaper it gets. So that's the first thing. But when I think about the costs of certain things,
mhm.
both emotional, mental, costs of, your children being kidnapped or disappearing forever, and to the large extent that it's happening with our children, and it's always happened with our young people, and they disappear and we never see them again and we never hear about them again and we don't know where they are. The second season of Mindhunter actually is literally, that is a big part of those storylines talking about. Now, I don't think they used the accurate location. I'm not sure if they did. But Chicago in the what decade was that, when a whole bunch of children just started disappearing and no one knew where they were going, and they disappeared and no one ever found them. This is a historically accurate story, and the amount of our young women, young men who disappear, we never see them again, is so large. And it would be great if we could do something about it, but even I'm not trying to put down police departments or whatever, but they are a reactive department. That is to say, they can't prevent crime, in as much as they can try to solve it after it happened. Just like they can't prevent the murder, but they can try to solve who did it. Well, that doesn't stop the fact that your loved one's murdered. The kidnapping, well, they can do the best that they can, but there's no leads within 72 hours. There's a good chance they're never going to catch up. And that's what I look at. I'm looking at that factor. Now, if it's something that's outside of you, your phone and your jacket and your shoes, well, there's a good chance that they might strip you down and change you into something else anyway. Well, then what? If they're not going to let you keep your phone, well, then what?
Hmm.
All of those tracking things that you've got built in only work if your kid is intentionally running away, right? Because your kid's intentionally running away, they're going to take their phone with them. They're going to keep wearing their shoes, whatever it is. So, but what if they're not intentionally? Adults are a little bit more crafty than that. And that's where it comes down to the implanted chip. But I don't think there should be national databases or anything like that. I do think it should be something that, say, parents or families can opt to do. But other than the doctors having access to, whatever information they need to say, hey, we did a surgery with someone, much like your implants or whatever, I don't think they should have access to any of the other information. I think it should be privatized information. Once you download the applications and whatever, it's like basically air gapped, airlocked, whatever, like nothing outside can access that information. To be able to locate you or your children or whatever. So it would need to be something privatized, which again then makes it more expensive.
Right.
And I think that we can work it down a lot cheaper. But I think the only way, to me, that I would feel safe doing it is in the context that someone could prove to me that no one else has access to this information, period. It's literally just something for me to activate in case of emergency.
Hmm. All right. Well, it's definitely going to be a little pricey,
Mm-hmm.
hearing that. So I would say, if people are interested, they're working on it, and it will happen. That's what I say about that.
Okay. You know what? Save yourself, fitness mom. She's like,
I
see,
have no idea what's going on there. I'm just, hey, I don't know.
I'm like, because I was like, there's an F there. So I'm like, do you mean SYSBF? Nope, nope. She means me. She's all about saving herself. Period. Reminded herself of that. Right? It's like me walking around like, back in the days when everyone had those WWJD bracelets, being like WWRD. What would Ruby do? Like, yeah, no, just remind yourself about you. It's about taking care of you and saving you. Is that about what that stands for? Like, it's about you taking care of yourself and making sure you're putting yourself first and treating yourself right and everything, fitness mom? Uh-oh. I hope her lips aren't swollen.
Yeah, I'm not able. That was a conversation she was having with.
Oh, my fault. Yeah,
Oh, there she is.
he had asked Shar if I said I was raised in a cult. And I was like, yeah, So that instead of standing in the cult, I wear syspim.
That That is amazing. I don't know. Have you ever told your story online or shared it as far as like how you got out?
On his channel.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out because that is something spectacular. It's not something you hear every day. That's for sure.
It's really not as as exciting as it sounds. I was raised in a religious cult, you know. Their ideals were very ultra religious, and after a while, around 18, I escaped the cult. Well, my mother died actually when I was 17, and I went to homelessness, and that's basically how I got out the cult.
Mm, okay. Well, that's a good way. Do you are you in contact with anyone that you knew growing up? Growing up.
Well, the cult was mostly my family members and some outside people, but it was mostly most bunch of family. And most the ones that are still in communication with me are the ones that didn't cut me off. I still talk to and everything, but the majority of them did cut me off. So, but I still talk to a few. There are some
Mm-hmm.
outliers that still talk with me.
Hmm. Okay. And but I'm guessing they're still in it. Just they're willing to kind of break a
Yeah,
rule to be like,
yeah,
hey, we still love you.
yeah. They are still in it. They are deep in it. Yes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. That kind of stuff latches on and doesn't let go. Was it what was the denomination, like the religion?
Pentecostal Christian.
Really? You know what? For some reason, I don't know. In my head, always thought Jehovah's Witness or something similar like that, or the Seventh Day, uh, or something like that towards that side.
Adventist. That's what you're talking about. Them people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't know. I always, when I think of religious cult, I don't really think Pentecostal, but
I know, right?
apparently, I mean,
Pentecostal apostolic Christian.
damn. Okay then. Actually, you know what? I don't even know why I don't though, because technically, like the way that the church that joined when I was a teenager or like a young teen, was very cult like. And we talk about it like that. My mom talks about it like that. For her, she feels like that's what it was. Like she felt, she changed so dramatically. She made decisions she never would have made. um it was, there was a lot of like almost brainwashing like to it. So yeah, and we were apostolic. So I don't know why I wouldn't think, yeah, no, that's totally possible. But yeah, no, okay, that makes sense. Oh, hey crew, what's up?
You know,
Oh, lazy to type.
some
Sorry.
people, a lot of people go to Pentecostal churches, and like I've been to. Well, I have not actually been to a Pentecostal church in the real world. That's how I put it. I've been to some Christian churches and a couple of Baptist churches, but I've never actually been to another Pentecostal church since I left the coast. But maybe one day I'll go and see how it's different with real people, and not
Mm,
real. Well, not like my family's fake and all, but just with
right.
the real how normal people may celebrate Pentecostal in church.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's not even the way I've known it to be. But I mean, like I don't I cannot I just I to me in my head I can't imagine a Pentecostal church not being like the Pentecostal church, the Pentecostal religion or faith that I was a part of. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is there a church? Because I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I'm going to go to a Pentecostal church just to see what it's like outside.
Right. I don't blame you. I mean, why would you assume that it would be anything else? And I mean, I can see it being stressful or maybe anxiety provoking. It's the idea of walking back into a church that has the same ideals or belief systems just because of what happened last time you were kind of interacting with people who did. Um, which, yeah, they're bastardizing a religion, right? Anyone who turns something into a cult, they're bastardizing something that already exists. And so, yeah, it wasn't meant to be like that. But yeah, no, I think I would feel similarly to you. And to be honest, like, I don't trust. church people. I reject organized religion altogether because of my experiences. And they weren't that, like, we weren't that deep in. I wasn't born and raised into it. We walked in when I was about 11, 12. So, I can see, yeah, no, I think I would feel the same way.
Yeah, if I experience something like that, I would not be trying to go in a physical place. I'll turn to a television program and see what they got going on, but I wouldn't go into the physical place if I've experienced some, trauma. That'd be a bit much for me.
The last time was in a Pentecostal church was 1994.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. You know what? Listen, you're not missing much. Like, let's be real. Almost all sects of Christianity are incredibly similar. You know what I mean? Like, especially black church is black church. Like,
You know,
white church is white church. Like,
I thought that too, but the fact is, like when I was 18, my friend was like, "Let's go to church," and I told her I would go to church with her, and she
Mhm.
well, actually, I put up a fight for the longest, but then she was like, "Just come on, please," and I was like, "Okay, fine, fine, fine." So I told her I would go to church with her, and I went to church with her that Sunday, and it was anxiety. I had anxieties from the day I agreed all the way up until Sunday morning, where I just did not want to go. I was having nightmares. It was just crazy. And I got up my normal church time. I got dressed my normal church time, and I was ready to go out the door. 5:30. And it turns out normal people don't start church at 5:30.
oh no. God damn.
Okay.
Wow. Can you
And
imagine?
on top of that, when I went to church, they were normal acting. They were. It was a very quiet place. They sat down. They did their amen. They said they praised the Lord. They turned to the neighbors who was like, "The Lord has been good to me right now." And then after a couple of hours, everybody left, and I was like, "Okay, well, shoot, this is not like I'm used to."
So, what when you started church at 5:30 in the morning, right? When would it end? Like what time?
9:30 to 10 o'clock at night,
Wow.
six
The
Oh,
days a week.
what? Pardon?
6 days a week. Only day I didn't have to go was men's night.
Wow.
they would get one day. That's some make you all go six. Wow. But
I,
anyway, I ain't gonna get into that. Let me just listen.
damn.
But yeah,
Like,
the men only went that one day, except for that day, that one day and Sunday.
oh, men only had to go one day a week. Women had to go six.
Exactly, because women were the ones that had to be controlled.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Look what Eve did, right? I'm sure that that has something to do with their foolishness. Wow. I'm just thinking to myself, because you know what? The length of time isn't that strange to me. And the reason why is because in my church, we would start at, well, we're supposed to start at 10:30. No one really got there until 11:30. Everyone's on black people time. And then it would go though until like what, 2 3 o'clock in the morning. So you're there from the crack of dawn for you, until 3 o'clock in the morning. You get a couple hours of sleep, get up and go to work or whatever you're doing for the next day. And then, whenever we did have weekday service, which was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, service was always, supposed to start at 7, probably start at more like 8, 8:30, whatever. But then again, you're there until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was never like a 1 hour, 2 hour thing. I didn't even realize, I knew white people did short church, right? Where you just go and it's supposed to be 2 hours and it's 2 hours. Like, I knew that. I didn't know black people did that until like long afterwards. And I went to some church and it felt so short to me. Like, I had prepared myself for an all day thing and got there at like 12 and it was done at 1:30, like they said that it was going to be. And I was so confused. Like, really?
Pentecostal, Pentecostal. I mean, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, do Pentecostal churches that are not cults, have 2 hour services? Because I'm like, how do you have 2 hour service if you're supposed to be Pentecostal? Because I mean, you got to fit in the time for saying tongues.
Right. Right? And you need spiritual tarrying at someone. Someone's going to need that. Um, you need to sing choruses for hours at a time. Like, when y'all don't do any of that? It's just,
I
oh.
know they was like they had a choir and sang like 2, 3 songs, and there was no tongues and praise dance, none of that. I was like, what's going on? They had a little choir sing a little couple of songs, and the preacher said a couple of words, and then some people stood in line for a little bit to be blessed, and that was it. I was like, we're not going to dance, we're not going to shout, not going to speak tongues, we're not going to lay hands and do, you know what I mean, casting out demons or nothing.
Wow. Yeah, no, I totally get that actually, because that was exactly my experience. I was so confused. I'm like, and on one side I was happy, on the other side I'm like, no, I need somewhere that there's a happy medium. Like, it feels almost empty and sterile to me without a little bit of it. So I need a little bit. It just can't consume my entire 24 hours of a day, every single, you know what I mean? Like, I needed a little bit more. Like, I need some of that spiritual stuff. Or I feel like, where's the spirit of God? I can't get past that mentality where it's like, oh, this was good. Because I'm like, to me, if you can stick right on time, then that means the Holy Spirit isn't running anything. And if the Holy Spirit's not running anything, then why the hell am I in church? That is literally my mentality, and I'm not really able to get past it. I don't know. I need, like, it's got to be at least a few hours. You got to not run on time. It's just got to be like that for me. You're
Yeah, because
pretty
I
sure?
mean, the Pentecostal church, you have to have the Holy Spirit go through the church so everybody can speak tongues
Right.
before is even finished.
Gotta be. Gotta be. Um, and see, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, on one side, oh, this was nice. You said an hour and a half. It was an hour and a half. I have the whole rest of my day. All right, cool. On the other side, I'm like, I don't feel like I went to church. Like, I feel like I went to school. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it just feels too cold and sterile for me. I need it. I don't speak in tongues, because I'm not filled with no Holy Ghost. But I need someone else to do it, so that way I feel like I got close to it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never spoken tongue either, but that was because apparently I was a bad person. So everybody in my family was tongue speakers. My daggone aunt would just go into tongues randomly throughout the day when we weren't even in church.
My mom still does. Uh, but it's not like I don't know. I don't like, not like randomly, like, hey, we're just having a random conversation, but like something, I don't know, something serious or whatever. I don't know. And like, when I think about it, like the whole Holy Spirit thing, the reason why I believe it is because of my mother. Because again, she didn't like raise me in the church, and she's not the reason we went to church. I am. And so, for my mom to have been filled with the Holy Ghost, like, when you think about the reaction that me and my mother and her fiance had walking into this church, like, we thought everyone was crazy, like literally insane. They're falling all over the place and blah, 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 and we're like, what the hell is this? But there was a bunch of teenagers there about my age. So after service, we were all downstairs and, whatever, talking. And I was like, I wanted to go back. I think I really want to go back to just hang out with them. And I'm like, yeah, it's all right. So, that wasn't like our cup of tea at all. It's not something that was normalized. My mom thought it was a little bit crazy, a lot crazy. And she's not, she's more like the classy type. She's not really the type that wants to follow trends or anything like that. So for it to have happened to her gave it a little bit more credence in my mind, I guess, that it's really something that happens. It's really something real. It's not just mass hysteria or people putting on a show so they can look holy. I certainly think that there is definitely a lot of people who are just putting on a show. It's not really real. They're just doing it because everyone else is doing it and they want to look holy or whatever. But I do think it's something that is possible. I don't know. Because I don't think my mom is faking it. And I think it's really her. If I didn't know my mom so well, then maybe. But I don't know. I don't think she's faking it. I don't think it happened to me.
I believe
But
in the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues. So
yeah, like, I believe it. I, I don't know how authentic everyone is about it, but I believe it.
I think everybody is authentic about it, but I do believe
Mm-hmm.
in the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues and all that stuff. I mean, like, you can't be raised in a cult and not carry on a lot of the beliefs, even if you leave the cult. It's not like it's something I could be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take all of the stuff that I would have rammed down my throat for all these years and be like, you know what? Nah, not me. I
Eh,
mean,
this is probably bullshit. Forget it.
if I see someone speaking in tongues, I just let them go about their speaking in tongues. And if I was to see someone speak in tongues, I would not bother them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not my place to say who they are or what they are and if they're fake or not. I do know that I will not be getting any marks of the beast or any chips or anything like that because I don't care what science so-called proves. I've been fed this my whole life, and that chip is just gonna have there's gonna be patented 666 somewhere on that chip in
I
tiny little
know.
writing.
I know. See, I'm like, I can't get past that either. But I think it's a good idea. But I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? You're not trying to mark my child for the devil. So what do? Uh, you can't get past the belief system. But and I will say this, that in my church at least, no one ever said like, well, you didn't get filled with the Holy Ghost because you're a bad person. It actually had to do more with your own personal resistance, and your openness, and your readiness. So because you could literally have killed someone yesterday. You could be literally filled with vengeance for your husband or whoever it is, and get filled right there, because you are so entirely open to whatever emotions and whatever. You're not putting any blockades up and whatever, and that could be the moment. uh my pastor, and actually my bishop has an interesting story too, but my pastor used to tell her story of how she got saved, how she got filled with the Holy Ghost the first time. And what happened was, I can't remember, some chick did something to her. And so, she's out for revenge, and she had her 5 pen knives with her everywhere she went, in different places, different pockets, because at any moment she needed to find this girl so she could stab her. But the girl was hiding from her, and she got word that the girl went to church every Sunday. It's the only time she went out. Otherwise, she was in hiding. So she said, "All right, cool. I ain't scared of no Church of God, holy whatever. I'm gonna go kill her there." So she walked into the church with her 5 pen knives, ready to go stab and kill this girl. And she said she was struck with the Holy Spirit, and that was it. Like, she's like, lost like consciousness, but she was awake. But like, her awareness and whatever got filled right there. She even wet herself, at the time, whatever. So much so did her body like let go, and whatever, speaking in tongues and the whole nine. She said that's how she was saved. That's what happened. That's her story. And like, my bishop, he literally killed a lot of people, before he got saved. And it was I'll say not entirely, but a similar story. Like, he was just at church kind of almost accidentally, like, forced to be there. Fine, I'll do it this one time. So I mean, in our stories at least, being filled with the Holy Spirit has nothing to do with if you're a good or a bad person. You could be the worst person with the worst of intentions and get filled, and you could be the best person with the sweetest of intentions and never get filled, because it has nothing really to do with that. So I don't know, at least in my teachings of the apostolic religion.
That's funny. You're apostolic.
Yeah, my teachings of the apostolic religion. Yeah, you'll hear me out. Apostolic. Yes, yes, ma'am. I am a backslider of the apostolic religion.
Oh, so long as I've heard that word too, backslider.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a backslider. And the thing is, like, it cracks my mom up, my mom and her best friend up, because I say it and they're like, "You say that so proudly." And I'm like, "What, am I supposed to be ashamed I'm a backslider?" I claim it for what it is. That's what I am. I'm a backslider. I didn't stop believing necessarily in God or whatever. I'm a backslider. I'm not a Christian. What am I supposed to do? Say I'm still missionary Ruby? I'm not. I'm a backslider. Is what it is. Uh, but yeah, no, backbench, the whole nine. Yep. That was, and I think that stuff is weird too. Like, how their churches now don't have like backbench. They don't backbench anyone. Did you guys backbench people?
Yes.
Right. But churches, a lot of churches don't do that, and I'm like, really, bro? We could not step
Well,
foot on the altar if we weren't doing what we're supposed to do. You get caught doing stuff you're not supposed to do, you are
go
backbench.
right to the back. Sit to the
Right?
back.
You sit
Many,
back there, you can't touch nothing, you can't do nothing. You're out of choir, you're out of anything that has to cross the pulpit, because then you're bringing you and your dirty, filthy spirit onto the pulpit, and you're not allowed to do that. So, so
God, you sound just like everybody.
yeah,
Get in the back. The back down.
backbench for you.
Get the point to the back.
Yep. No more altar for you. That's what it was. And I remember that though. And I'm like, on one side, like, this is ridiculous. But on the other side, I'm like, what they're doing going the whole opposite way, where like they're letting people they know are hoeing 6 days a week up on the pulpit singing for Jesus. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's kind of blasphemous too. Like, I feel like there's got to be a middle ground somewhere, where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go sit there and shame you on backbench, and now you're just sister so and so instead of missionary so and so. But at the same time, when I know that you've been living, I'm not gonna say an unclean life, but you've been being a hypocrite, preaching one thing, doing another, and whatever. Do I want you up there preaching? Do I think that that is a good message to be sending? No.
No,
So, no, no.
we had what my one of my cousins became one of the actual heads of the church, right? Because my family, like I said, they were deep in this church, and he married a woman that was outside of the church, and she
Mm.
showed up in a sundress or something to one of the services.
Oh
They stopped
no,
the service and asked her to leave.
you're kidding.
She was
Wow.
asked to leave because she was dressed inappropriately to be sitting in the front pew.
Mm. Mm. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I've literally seen, I literally saw Pastor Christie once send someone out of church for wearing sandals, like flip floppy type sandals. You were not allowed to wear flip floppy type sandals to church. So that was very disrespectful, because they make a sound when you walk. They're very casual. You're wearing them to the beach and stuff like that. And sure, Jesus said, "Come as you are," but like, really, like, yeah, no, you could not wear it. I remember her sending someone out. It was someone's mom or something, and she sent them out to go stand outside like they're a child, because they weren't dressed appropriately. So yeah, no, I can't even say that. I think that that's weird, because yeah, no, that's what it was. Just like once you were baptized, you could not, as a woman, show up into church, in anything other than a skirt. Your skirt had to be long, like below your knees. Definitely couldn't be showing no skin, cleavage, shoulders. Like, you were a hoe for showing your shoulders. I'm being really real
Oh heck
here.
yes,
Yep.
100%. You can your skirt had to go below your knees, and
Yep.
you had to have on almost a turtleneck.
Right. Yeah. Like, you leave a button unbuttoned. Oh my God. No. 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 That's hoe. You're trying to invite temptation. And any, what was it, any appearance of sin or something like that. Like, you have to abstain from all appearances of evil. Like, so your shoulders, like, I remember, like, you could not wear a tank top. You had to have something covering your shoulders at all times. This includes when you go to the beach. You could wear a bathing suit all you want, but you have to wear a t-shirt that goes very long, and maybe some shorts if that t-shirt's not long enough, in order for you to go into the water and let people see that skin. Otherwise, you're a hoe. Like, and they told 12-year-olds this. Like, this was for real. This is how they were treating living life. Like, yeah, no, this. So, see, this is why my mom says our church was cult like, because it resembles a lot of what she went through. Damn. Okay, then. I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm the one who picked it. It's not even, my mom didn't even get me in it. I picked it.
Sorry about that. I had a little mishap with the baby.
Hmm. No worries, no worries. It's understandable. Mama duties come first. Poor Char is like, I don't know none of this stuff. This
That,
I ain't saying none.
you
There's
know,
some things I don't talk about, and that's one.
it is
mm,
funny because I mean, like, the thing is, people be like, I'm Baptist or I'm this, that, and other. And I'm like, well, I've been to like Baptist churches and they are nowhere near as strict as a Pentecostal church. And I'm like, because my husband's Baptist and he says, well, we're just like that. And I'm like, no, you're not.
mm,
No,
mm. Nope.
no, you're not.
Like, like when I hear stories, when people tell stories of black church in America, my jaw hits the floor because
You
I
know,
can't even imagine.
can I
Uh,
ask a question about your Pentecostal church? Are women allowed to have high titles in your church?
yes,
They were
they
not.
were.
They are not allowed where we were from. You cannot
Hmm.
be, but you cannot go above a certain rank if you're a woman.
Mm, yep, yep. That well, because that's even more old school, right? Because in the Bible it says that women aren't supposed to be teaching men. So in and of itself,
Nope. You
they can have positions, but not to teach men. Uh, Whereas in now the I can't remember because honestly there are actual Bible verses that quote unquote go against that. People like to dismiss those verses. My mom knows all of them because my mom is now a pastor. Before that, she was a minister. The pastor of my church was a woman. And we had Minister Erskine, who was also a woman. So we did have, and like we had deaconesses and obviously missionaries. I don't really know of any elders that were women. I believe all the elders, elder whoever, elder Yule and whatever, those were all kind of men. But yeah, no, they were definitely allowed to hold positions. I would still say though that while they were allowed to hold positions in the church because they were ordained by God to hold that position, it didn't change what your role was as a woman overall in the church otherwise. That is to say that yes, Pastor Christy got kind of served hand and foot by like everybody, but she's still a woman, which means a man is still ahead of her household and ahead of her. And men are still the leaders and are still the strength and whatever. So, there's I guess a careful balance. There's one thing of being ordained by God to do something on the pulpit, but when you walk off of the pulpit is a different story. Now you're a woman.
Yeah, because I mean, I was on a panel. It was either last night or night before. I don't remember what night it was. And I had mentioned about how my husband had did something that was rather disrespectful to me. He was rather disrespectful and showed all kinds of like it showed that he did not care about me or my feelings. You know what I mean? And I was with him. This was back when we were first dating, and I was with him, even though he was showing that he didn't care about my feelings and stuff. But the thing about it is, the way you are in Pentecostal, like you're a woman, you don't have feelings.
Yep. Mhm. Yeah, because you have a job, you have a role. In a way, I would think that the problem is that you don't get to have feelings if your feelings supersede your husband's feelings, needs, or wants because your husband is the thing that's important.
Because what he was doing right was whenever we he had a woman friend, and whenever we would ride in the car, she would call shotgun, so I would have to sit in the back. And I said something to him about, have her let me sit in the front. And I, because of course it's not my place to talk to his friends because they're his friends. You know
Right.
what I mean? So he didn't, and he did not do anything. He did not correct that situation. And a normal woman would have been like, no, I can't be with you and nothing like that. But raised in a Pentecostal cult, you're like, oh, okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
But you don't say anything against a man.
Right.
You say something against a man, you're going to hell.
Pretty much, yeah. That sounds about right. You know what? I will say this, and I remember, like, this isn't from the religion stuff and whatever necessarily, but I will say this: men hate to be told what to do overall. This is just you tell them what to do, they're gonna buck, because they're men. But men are very good at solving problems. So if you tell them about a problem you have, but you don't tell them what to do about it, you're more likely to get a favorable result. So just telling him how you feel, how it makes you feel, you know what I mean? And like, not
Approach I took.
that's the approach you took. Like you just told him
He
like it
didn't
makes me
care
feel
about
really
my feelings.
disrespected and hurt kind of
He
thing.
didn't care.
Mm. Hmm. 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 You know what? I'm gonna say, and that's an interesting one because men normally, like I said, they want to solve problems. So that means that he feels that there will be a bigger problem to him, to his overall life, if he makes this a problem with this female friend.
No,
So,
he really just didn't care about my feelings at all because I mean, uh, uh, he was rather just disrespectful of me on a whole bunch of different ways, not just that. That's
mm,
just the one that I happened to bring up. He
oh,
did not
oh,
care about my feelings. I mean, it wasn't just with her. It's not. She was just,
mm,
one of many. Not many women, but many ways he disrespected me.
examples, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So he just had an overall issue. Yeah, there's a difference
yes,
between
it
the
was.
one off and
He
oh,
had an overall issue with me. Yes, it was an issue that was me specific. So
mm,
I mean, it could have been you that I had a problem with, and he still would have been like, "No, I don't care," and would have took your side, even though he don't know you. You know what I mean?
just because, you know, was he and what was he like religion wise? Was he like in kind of like he's a Baptist? Okay, because I know a person. So my bishop, the one I was talking about earlier, he has a daughter, and his daughter got married in the summer of 2000 and oh no September 2018, and she was getting divorced by December of 2018 already, and they had been together for years before that. And he had been an Israelite before, but he converted to Christianity, right? Because she wasn't going to marry him unless he converted to the apostolic religion, and he converted. And he said that the Israelite beliefs were his old ways and his old belief systems, and he doesn't believe that way anymore. But the second they got married, he changed, and she stopped being a human, a woman with feelings, and whatever, one that he loves and he respects, and he's constantly trying to fulfill, because it's a reciprocal relationship, and she became a piece of property to him. And so he was dismissive, he was disrespectful, and then actually very quickly he became very controlling, not like abusive yet, but very controlling as far as what she's allowed to wear, what she's allowed to say, what she's allowed to do, who she's allowed to speak to, the fact that she's not allowed to look anyone in the eyes. All these things came out of the blue. And it's like he was falling back on his Israelite teachings. Like she couldn't even say something about, like, if she knew something about, I don't know, say how to butter the bread better than he did, and she said something, he would like get really upset, because how dare she as a woman tell him anything. As a woman, you're supposed to stay silent. And women can't teach men. So if there's something wrong with the way he's buttering bread, then a man will tell him. Like that. It was just like,
Yeah, that's
what?
how we were.
Huh?
That's how we were.
Mm,
And to answer the question in the chat, um, the stuff that I'm talking about happened over 20 years ago. With this, so it's that part of time, but that moment in time has long been worked out.
mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it led to a whole lot of stuff, and it led to a whole lot of things, which eventually led to us breaking up.
Right.
You know,
Thank God.
yeah, we broke up after I brought him a prostitute. But
What? Dude, it sounds like you got stories like I got stories. Like everyone's like, wait, what the hell? Where did that come from?
after I brought him a prostitute, he got too offended and he dumped me on the spot. So it was, yeah, but
Oh.
yeah. So we separated for a year
But why was he offended?
because I brought him a prostitute. Apparently, he felt that a man shouldn't pay for sex or have someone pay for sex for him, and I don't know. I was just trying to solve a problem, so
I was trying to be helpful.
I'm
I don't know
just
what to tell
trying
you.
to be helpful. I mean, she was good looking. I mean, isn't that all that matters?
Right?
I know. He should have been thankful. I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying. You know how many men would be like, "Are you crazy?" Like, this is beyond permission. She bought you permission. Like here.
I brought the prostitutes. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, that is too funny. And you know what the funny thing is about that is it's like, okay, I understand you shouldn't have to or whatever the hell you're saying, but like, really, really, you're just looking for reasons to be mad now. Like, dude, you just get your rocks off. Be like, thanks for that. Move on. Just move on. But he didn't want to. He was clearly miserable, and more importantly, you were miserable. So I'm glad because you were clearly trying to be a good woman, solve problems, stick by him no matter what, even though he honestly didn't really deserve it. So I'm glad that that was the quote unquote last straw for him. So you could move on into something really happy and really great
Oh,
in
I
your
got
life.
back with him, and we're married now.
What?
Yeah, that's my
Ooh,
husband. That was my husband. That's my husband. When, but way back in the past, for what happened with.
that's what. Okay, girl. I didn't know you got married to the same guy again. You are awesome.
No, he
Okay.
wasn't my husband when that happened. He was just the guy I was dating at that time.
Oh, so you were dating him. He turned into a piece of trash and he left you and whatever. And then I'm guessing what he did some work on himself, and then came back.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's cool. Hey, listen, it happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to lose something and not have something anymore for you to recognize its value.
Well, I could tell you exactly. He won't admit it to this day, but I know what happened.
Mm. All right. Do share. Do share.
Her name was Nicole. That's what happened.
Ooh. Mm. Okay then.
That was the resentment. That was all the issues he had with me. Her name was Nicole, but I know about her, and he
Mm.
says even to this day, he's like, it was not like that, and I'm like, yeah, it was. It was so like that. See, the
Right.
thing was when me and him, when we both met each other for the first time,
Mm.
we were both out of relationships, and like BGS says at times about my relationship with him. He says that my husband imprinted on me, and I tell him I'm like, no, he didn't imprint on me, and I
Mm.
believe he actually imprinted on this chick named Nicole, and
Mm.
when because I imprinted on the guy that I was with right before my husband, and he imprinted on Nicole. And the thing was, when we broke up, well, when they broke up, he got with me not too long after that. So I was supposed to be a rebound. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then he started to like me. You know?
Mm.
And then
Mm.
I had all kind of rules and stuff that he wasn't used to. And he would say things like little slick things sometimes. Like he'll say, well, when I was with Nicole, we didn't argue all the time. Or when I was with Nicole, it was this, that,
Oh.
and that. I was like, uh-huh. So I was like, you want me to be Nicole, right? That was what
Mm.
that was. And he held animosity for me because he wasn't fully over her.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So he had that animosity because he kind of maybe wanted her back, but he was also mad about stuff that happened with her. So he was taking that out on you too, and all of that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
a little punching bag, right? And you want to know what happened? See, the thing was, when we broke up for 6 months after we broke up, I would cook him dinner every night.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't talk. He would go and he'd date all the people he wanted to and be out in his world and everything. And I would cook for him for 6 months. And then after that, he left. He left
Right.
for 6 months. And while he was gone, I found someone else. And I started to date someone else. And I was getting serious about this someone else.
Ooh.
And then he came back. And when he came back, he was a new person. I mean, completely new
Mm.
person. A
Oh.
guy I
Okay.
had never met before a day in my life. And I'm like,
Hmm.
who is this?
But I knew who this was. I knew exactly who this was. And I knew exactly why he changed.
Mm.
You know
Mm.
why he changed?
Why?
He went and dated Nicole.
Got it out of his system. Got back with her. Got that incredible dream.
Let me tell you about Nicole.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear about her.
Nicole is about your age or a little older, right?
Mhm.
Nicole was at the time. Nicole was about an 8.5, 9, right? Look
Mhm.
wise, she was very attractive woman,
Mm.
and he had dated her for 2 years, and then he had went off somewhere, and she found somebody else, and then she broke up with him. Then he went off, joined the army. After the army, we were dating and stuff, and he found me and all this other stuff. But he started getting a nice little paycheck, right?
Mhm.
So Nicole, on the other hand, started collecting baby fathers.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Okay.
And one of the baby fathers she collected happened to be one of his friends, right?
Wow.
And she's still 8.5, 9. She was still young, 20 years old, like 18, 19, something like that. She was young.
Right.
Uh, she was she was young, collecting babies and baby daddies. And he went to date her. And most likely after dating me, then going back to date her, it was like, yeah,
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
tripping on.
Right. He remembered that he was. See, that's what people do though. When they lose a love and they weren't ready for it or whatever, and they haven't resolved it yet, they romanticize it, right? They remember only the good things and they remember half of that stuff wrong anyway. Right? So he's sitting there making up this romantic idea of what it was like being with her until he got to go back with her and then went, oh, hell no, this is not at all what I thought it was. And then on top of that, that made him be able to see you and the relationship with you in a completely different light. Like, God damn, she was amazing. What the hell was I thinking? Whoops. Oops. Okay then. Okay then. So and he still won't admit it to this day. He came back a brand new person and he's just pretending it just happened out of the blue.
He
Does he admit he got back together with
wanted,
her?
oh, he didn't have to admit that.
Okay, okay, okay.
But he won't admit that it was so horrible that that's why he became a changed person. Well, how he likes to put it is he changed because he realized my love was so strong and our love was good together. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's the thing. That's what you think I want to hear. But I know what
Right.
happened. I know the real. He got back
Mm-hmm.
with that girl who was very attractive, and I mean very attractive. And next thing you know, you realize why she was very attractive with baby daddies instead of an actual husband. She ended up getting married, like at, at like 30, to somebody who called himself the coochie hunter, basically, without the word coochie, but with the P word instead.
Wow. Yeah. The high class guy. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that lasted 4 years, and you're like, how do I know all this stuff? Am I keeping tabs? No, I'm not keeping tabs. It's the
Mm-hmm.
fact that his mother is still friends with her.
Oh, so she tells you.
On Facebook. I'm friends with his mother, and they would talk, and she'd be commenting and all this other stuff. And I'm like, geez, they still talking. Like his
Wow.
sister, right? His sister is 10 years younger than me. So she's
Mm.
about a good 5 years younger, maybe even less than, she's younger than,
Right.
than the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
his sister said to me, his sister was like, because his sister was like 18 at the time. So that girl had to be like 26 or 27, right? So
Right.
his sister was like 18 at the time. She's 26. So his sister was like, I seen her naked. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You seen her naked? And she's like,
Mm.
yeah, she sent naked pictures to one of my classmates and he showed everybody.
Wow.
I'm like, yep, that's that quality woman he was looking for.
Wow. Oh my. Okay then. Looking for attention and validation from anywhere she could get it. Damn.
But yet and still, I wasn't as good as her. I was like, if I was a petty person,
if
I would comment on how he could have had her in his life, and that would have been the wife and child that he was looking for. After all, they didn't have any fights, and let him tell it.
girl, I am petty enough. I would definitely have said all that. I don't know.
I mean, when you're 25, 26, and you're sitting in daggone nudies to high school seniors,
Right.
that show, and you got 3 kids at this time too. I'm like, yeah, yes, she's quality, high quality,
High quality, right? Lord, because she's so attractive though. So you said she's like an 8'9", so she's very attractive, which
very
means she's getting a lot of male attention. It's not like she has to go seek it and she has to do desperate things to get the attention. She already gets enough, but it's not enough. That's why she's sending like you think about that, she's sending naked pictures to boys.
I
Like
think the reason why she's sending naked pictures to boys because of the fact that she lives in a small area, and since she was active from like 15 till that time, the people that are her age, if you know what I mean, are like, yeah, been there, done that.
she's already run through everyone else or the other way around.
Basically, basically. I mean, she had a child with one of his friends, and I was like, yeah,
Like wow. And
you want to wife up, right? So
listen, and I say this all the time, I love men, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to their other head, men are very stupid. And they cannot help themselves. They see that pretty thing, that thing that hits the spot for them, and they become very, very dumb. Their rational ability just goes out the window sometimes, clearly. Because why would you want and then like lust over and fiend after a woman who already has a kid with one of your friends who everyone you know has run through? Like
well,
that is not ideal. Like,
the thing was, the person he was remembering in his head was the girl virginity he took.
mm, mm, yeah, it's clearly not that girl. Clearly not that girl. She's
And
clearly not that girl anymore.
it had been years since they're dated. Like by the time he had went back,
Mm.
and that's the person he had met.
Oh
He
my.
had left her as the girl whose virginity he took. But in the
Right.
meantime, she was still very good looking, and since he took her virginity, she was open to having sex. So
Mm. Oh man. Man, all I can say, listen, all I can say is, men, hang in there. Eventually, some of that testosterone goes away and you'll be able to think more clearly with the head that's above your shoulders. That's all, like, wow. Like, that's all I can say about this one. That's crazy. That is crazy, but I'm glad he came to his senses.
oh yeah, he went there, saw what that was about, and got the heck out of there as fast as Dodge.
Mm hmm. Yeah.
Came
Yeah.
different. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Well, he's lucky. He's a very, very lucky man that in the time it took him to learn these valuable lessons, you were still available.
Oh, it wasn't, but after a while, I came back.
See, but that's what I'm saying. You, when I say available, I don't mean like you were literally single at the time. I mean as in your heart wasn't shut to him forever. You know
Oh,
what I mean? Because
definitely.
that happens, and people are like, "Nope, one and done." Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of people would have been that way, but Pentecostal church cult. So
Mm-hmm. Girl, listen, I totally get it. Thank you for sharing that story with us. Because other than the fact that it's hilarious and a little bit crazy, um, I do think people learn from hearing these stories because people think that their lives are original. They
Yeah.
do, right? Like I had a very similar thing happen where my husband and me, we split for a minute, and when he came back he was a whole new person, right? And he won't tell me how he became this whole new person in a couple months, but I was always positive it had something to do with we had been together for so long at that point, like 7-8 years, and it was like he felt like the grass might be greener on the other side. So he had the chance to go experience the grass on the other side and realized it's all brown and wilting and dead. And he didn't want it, right? And then it made him recognize what he had, but he needed that experience. And sometimes we need to recognize that when like guys are acting out, lashing out, doing all that stuff, that's what they're thinking. The grass is greener on the other side. So thank you for sharing that story, because I think some people did learn something, or at least they got a chuckle at the very least.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, everyone, it's about that time. And thank you so much for participating in the conversation. It was interesting. It started off a little, dark, but hey, it lightened up in the end. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. And for the guys in the chat room, thank you so much for your participation. Always fun. Don Teasy, you're going to owe me a couple of laughs. I only got, I think, one, so you owe me more.
True.
And DJ Music, as I said, you're going to have to be a guest so you can, give us some of these secrets. I know
Mm-hmm.
you're going to, share some with us. Come on, just one.
Right?
And Zero,
Come
thank you
on.
so much for dropping the link. I always appreciate your help. I don't tell you enough, but I'm telling you live, no text.
Mm. Mm.
But thank you so much. I appreciate it. And next week, we will have a guest Friday night, 9:30 p.m.
Ooh.
And hope to see you guys then. And I think it'll be more open topic. We're just gonna, shoot the breeze, no particular topic, but come on through. May have something you like to say.
Mm. I'm excited. Do we get to know who this person is, or is it a special secret guest?
I'll post it, early like I did before. That's
Okay.
enough.
Okay. 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 I'll try to wait patiently. I'm all right.
So again, I appreciated you guys, and I hope you have a rest of your weekend. It'll be really great.
Happy
I'm hope
Pharaoh.
okay. I'm hoping to have some sun around here soon. But thank you again for sharing, and see you guys next week. Peace.
All right. Cheers, y'all, and enjoy your tacos and wine, Shar. Okay.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah. Okay. Later.
Okay.